Let's say you start working at GameStop. Day 2, someone calls and threatens you with a shotgun because you don't have a Xbox 360 game in stock. What do you do?
They're like, dude, I'm working at GameStop. This is already the end of my life at this point. You can't really make it much worse.
You want me at point blank range?
You need more ammo? Talking about your last days. You want to kind of explain it?
So I left in February of 2022? Yes, 2022. Or was it 21? Whenever Horizon Forbidden West came out. That was my last day, was Forbidden West launch day. I was so tired, so burned out, so just emotionally destroyed from working at GameStop that, it was time to leave. Even then, it was really, really hard to quit. It was almost Stockholm Syndrome at that point. Like, it took a couple of conversations with a couple of people to convince me, like, it was time to go. And, having a job with Kroger lined up as, like, a means of escape for me to be able to quit GameStop. I gave them a 3-week notice, as I do for pretty much any job that I leave. I gave them 3 weeks instead of 2. And I had committed and told myself that my last week that I was there, I would have no filter. That, anyone who was going to be an ass to me, I would be an ass back. I would not hold back. I would not pull punches. And it was the nicest week I'd ever had in my entire fucking career there. Not a single person was an ass to me. I was so ready to pick a fight with literally anybody, and I didn't get a single chance. It was even a major game launch, and I didn't get a fucking chance. It was upsetting, but it was fine.
What made you apply for other jobs? Like, when were you mentally done with GameStop?
Oh, I had been mentally done with GameStop for a while. Like, I had been mentally done with GameStop for almost a year by that point. But I didn't start, like, actively seeking other employment until, I'd say probably, like, 3 or 4 months before I quit. And it wasn't until, I had been working with Kroger part-time since December of 2020, I think. So I had been with Kroger part-time for a little while, which I had worked for them before full-time, and then left to work for GameStop full-time. So it was kind of funny that I left Kroger and came back to Kroger. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, my supervisor at Kroger at the time was like, I can help you get to be a manager for Kroger, no problem. Like, you already know all of this job inside and out, so having that surefire out is what helped me get out of, working for GameStop.
Do a lot of people that work at GameStop also work another part-time job someplace else?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately afterwards, did you feel relieved or regret?
Yes. So immediately after I left, it was huge relief. Like, massive weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Then there was a little bit there for a short time where it was did I make a mistake leaving a job that I knew inside and out? But then I got over it and was like, no, I made the right decision. Now, every once in a blue moon, I'll think back to good things, like, some of the regulars I had, or, like, the late-night launches, be like, part of me kind of misses that. And then I remember all of the, like, mental and emotional trauma that I went through working there. It's like, no, I left for a reason. I'm staying gone.
Yeah. When you gave your 3-week notice, how did people respond?
It was a mixed combination of, we're sad to see you go, and I was wondering when you were going to quit. Like, most people knew that I was, like, at the end of my line by that time. So a lot of them were just kind of counting down the days to when I put in my resignation.
Did the DM or anyone try to keep you around?
No, I think by that point, everyone had pretty much accepted that I was gonna go. My DM did what he could, because he had known for a while that I was thinking about leaving, and I think he did what he could for at least a little while to get me to stay, but eventually there just became that acceptance of, my time is up. I've overstayed. I had no place there anymore. It was bad for me to be staying there.
There's someone out there listening that thinks they might be at that point. What advice would you give them?
Get out of there. Just get out. Like, if you've got something lined up, or if you have a chance to line something up, just take it and get out of there. If you don't, I would almost say get out anyway and find something, just because it's not worth it. That job is not worth it. The company does not care. Don't burn yourself.
What do you not miss about GameStop, or like who are you like glad you don't have to deal with anymore, or glad you're missing?
Just the corporate overreach bullshit.
Just like
all the KPIs.
micromanaging or what?
Just the fact that, your performance is solely and exclusively based on your numbers. Like, it's a numbers game. You are a number to GameStop, and that's it. That's where it stops.
And yeah, you could be perfect for 3 years, but then the 1 month you're a little below one category. They say something, or
yeah.
Was there ever anyone there who like almost talked to you like you didn't know what you were doing, even though they lectured you?
The I won't give his name, but the assistant, or like the DM trainee, he had been the like DM trainee for longer than I was with the company, but could never get promoted to DM. For, take that for what you will. I'm sure you've heard the term drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah. That man bathed in it. That man soaked in it. That man slept in it. He breathed the Kool-Aid. And he thought that he was infallible, and he was more than happy to point out to others what they did wrong, and would harp on people. He was the one that I had the second interview with when I was interviewing for store manager. So, bit of a tool.
And, like, he talked like, oh, if he was selling, everything would be perfect. Numbers and everything, yeah. Okay. One of those guys.
Yeah, which, a little bit of an aside, he's no longer working for GameStop. To tell you how bad the company is doing, when he would quit, that's when the company is doomed. So
he drank that much Kool-Aid. Okay. When
drank so much Kool-Aid, he got a stomachache.
When most people leave GameStop, do they normally give a 2-week notice, or is it just peace out?
I've had everything. I've had
most of the time though.
Like, one guy gave me like a 1 month notice. I've had plenty of people just walk out and never come back. So
mid shift.
Yeah, I had that once.
Why?
I don't remember. Yeah, I've had everything under the sun. It's just the nature of jobs.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of all over. But I guess there was a good number of people that did a 2-week notice or some kind of notice?
Yeah, most commonly it was a 2-week notice.
And normally, did they have another job lined up? Or is it just, oh, I decided I'm going back to some kind of schooling?
Again, it was sort of all over the place. I always told my employees, and I still, like, in my current job, I tell my employees, like, do what is best for you. We will figure it out. Like, don't feel like you have to stay, because the company will find more people. Like, the company will march on. You do what's best for you.
But then when they leave, then you got to do more hours. Someone's got to go.
I mean, when I have someone put in their resignation, the first thing that I do is I look at the list of applicants. Like, I immediately jump on hiring. I want to have that gap plugged as quick as humanly possible.
No. It's nice you do that, because some places are slow about it, and then and then you're a skeleton crew for 2 months, and then anyways, it's like your very last day. What were you thinking, like, when you woke up that morning?
One more day. Almost over.
Were you counting down the days at the end?
Oh yeah.
The notice?
Absolutely. I was literally tracking number of days, like how close until I'm out of here.
Like before you moved state, was there anything significant there?
In terms of with GameStop?
Yeah.
No. It was just, one day I'm working there, the next day, all right, this is my last day, see you guys.
Yeah.
And
then
moved to Ohio.
Just on the schedule in some Ohio store.
Yeah.
How did the replacement do? Whoever replaced you?
That was Zach, which, he had worked at that store for so long, like he knew it inside and out, so he did great. I think he did better than I did, honestly. But he eventually quit as well, because it became too much. The problem is, and I had mentioned this before when we were out at the mall, it sounds like I had dodged a massive bullet. So GameStop, from my understanding now, is doing a thing where essentially store managers have to run multiple stores. So you are capped at your 40 hours still, but you will have now not just, like, say, I run West Broad, that is my A store. I will also have Northern Lights as my B store. So I'm in charge of running both stores and have to go between the two stores. So Zach was in charge of an A store and a B store, and I guess that's now standard, like a standard requirement for every store manager. Some store managers apparently even have a C store, and they tried to get Zach to take on a C store, which he was like, yeah, y'all can go fuck yourselves, I'm out.
Wow.
No pay raise. Well, technically it's like I think you get like $1.50 pay raise or something. But
so then would you get more hours to play with for other people? Don't say what? How?
No, that's
Well,
cute.
What do you clone yourself? How are you in two places at once? With like,
You split your time and figure it out from there.
so do you think there were days like you literally have to open this store and then close another store? Wow.
So one of my former employees, she ended up becoming the manager for one of the stores that I worked at. Final store was the Polaris Mall store. And yeah, she told me, like, when I'd gone in, I saw her that day and we were chatting, she had opened at her B store and then was closing at her A store.
Was there anyone on their final days that just didn't give a shit about their KIPs?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Were you one of them? Or did you still try hard until the end?
To a degree. I didn't try as hard, but I did still try. Like, it was one of those things where, I will ask, if you take it, cool. If not, also cool. I leave in a week, I don't care. I gave minimum effort, but I did still give some effort. But yeah, there were employees who, like, when they put in their resignations, they just did not give a shit. So, for those employees, I just, like, you go out on the floor, you talk to people, I will run the register.
So that the numbers don't get fucked up.
Right.
Did you ever purposely not buy things from your store so that it wouldn't ruin the numbers?
No, because so GameStop employees, full-time or key holders, so SGAs, assistant managers and managers, got pro memberships for free once a year. They got game protections for free and discounts on console and accessory protections. And then while you didn't get any discounts on pre-orders themselves, the product once you pick it up was discounted. So, no, I would still pick up stuff from my store just because those were easy KPIs.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, then you would. Before you actually quit, was there any time that you almost quit before that? Was there any close calls?
Yeah. I mean, when I told you on the previous episode about how I had let Mark have it, I was contemplating quitting at that point, but he convinced me to stay.
And was that just like stress or what?
Yeah.
Well,
just the stress of the job from dealing with everything that was going on during the pandemic and essentially having to do it all by myself. Like, there was so much chaos going on during that time. But also, like, the pandemic really showed to me that GameStop does not care about its employees.
And why do you say that? Explain that.
Like, given what all was going on, GameStop still requiring and mandating that we work, they fought any sort of restrictions, be it, mandates, lockdowns, whatever, for the longest time. They still made us go into work even when there was the, no non-essential employees working sort of thing. Literally the moment there was any sort of like lifting of restrictions, be it, people allowed to come in, or especially when the companies did not have to pay for like time off for COVID, GameStop was instantly on that.
No. And what bugs me about some of those companies is, one, they have like insurance in place, some kind of business insurance, I'm sure GameStop, where, everything's covered. COVID would fall into one of these rare situations where they had to close or whatever. Federally, like, unemployment was covered if people did have to, be laid off from COVID. Doesn't matter what state. Mm-hmm. Just as long as it's in the United States. Is GameStop in Canada or anything? Or it's something else up there, right?
It's EB Games.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, right, even with all that, yeah, they stayed open. So that time you almost quit and you didn't even have another job lined up, or you were part-time, or?
Nope. I didn't have anything at that time. I was literally about to just quit, file unemployment, and then figure it out from there.
Did you have anyone that you were working with not want to work or come in because of COVID? Like they did a leave of absence, or?
Yes. One of my employees opted to not come into work, so he did the leave of absence thing, but all of the others still wanted to work, which is why I did what I mentioned, where I essentially used my personal time, my PT, to supplement my paycheck, and I took fewer hours so that way they could get the hours and thus pay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So but yeah, at that time you were thinking those are going to be your final days. So this was like summer of 2020.
For a little bit. It was only for the span of like a week where I was like, fuck this place. I'm fucking quitting. I'm done with this. GameStop doesn't care.
And was it because like they changed goals? Because of customers?
It's only because of my DM that I did not quit.
Okay.
Like the conversation that he and I had.
Yeah, that was during COVID too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally the only reason that I did not quit.
You said when you left you felt relieved.
Mm-hmm.
Did you celebrate it all?
I took a week off of work. I didn't immediately jump into working for Kroger. When I quit, I took a week off just to like rest and relax and, decompress.
Yeah.
Before jumping back into work with a new job.
Your mind, right?
Yeah.
Did people ever like quit after a very short period of time?
Yeah. I've had people only work there for a couple of weeks and then quit.
Was that out of the blue? Like they didn't show up, or?
No, it was just sort of a like, this isn't the job that I thought it was kind of thing.
Oh, were you able to drop the bomb on me in one of these?
Yeah, in the previous episode, me getting robbed at gunpoint was that bombshell.
Okay.
Because I didn't really talk about it when it happened. That was just one of those, like, I sort of swept it under the rug because I didn't want people to worry or be freaked out. I was already freaked out enough,
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, having a gun pointed in your face.
And yeah, I don't know, it's just so crazy that they chose GameStop, instead of so many other retail stores. And
actually, you know what? I know when I had committed to I was going to find someplace else. The second time that we got robbed, when it was at West Broad. I wasn't the one who got robbed. Zach was the one who got robbed. But the first time when we got robbed, when I was the one who got robbed, we got a security guard for 1 week. That is it. 1 whole week, we got a security guard, and then he was gone. The second time we got robbed, we got nothing. No security guard, no pay raise, no nothing. And that was when it established in my mind, like, all right, GameStop truly does not care. I have no reason to be here.
So, like, the security guard, would they just sit in GameStop all day and just chill with you guys, or what?
Yeah, he would just sit by the counter and just chill. We would chat. Some security guards were chattier than others. One guy just did not want to be there.
So it was like every day?
Yep, every day for a week.
Okay, we'll come on, but we had, same company. Okay.
I think we had 4 or 5 different security guards. But
that was the moment you said adios.
The second time, when we didn't get the security guard, that's when I said, like, all right, fuck this place. They don't care, so neither do I.
Were you ever someone that, like, drank the GameStop Kool-Aid and then over time changed? No? From day one, you were like, fuck GameStop? You're just here for the games?
I was I wouldn't say fuck GameStop. Like, I was still, in some cases, protect company assets, but I was the least corporate manager of any of the managers. I got into, not quite an argument, but I butted heads with my first DM that, he was very much of this is GameStop store, this is a corporate store, and I was very much of no, this is my store, this is my team. I will run people and I will run this place my way because I know what works. I did a lot of things that were not like to code, I guess you would say.
And maybe over time, I guess you just cared less if it was your way or GameStop's way. You just
kinda. I think it wasn't so much that I would care less if it was my way or GameStop's way. It's more I cared less what GameStop thought about my way. It was more of I'm going to do things my way, and if you have a problem with it, you can shove it. Like I said, my boss let me get away with a lot.
So at the actual end of your time at GameStop, was there any headaches that you left for Zach and the rest of the crew? Maybe a customer escalation?
Not that I know of.
Some kind of mess in the store? No?
Because like I said, everybody was super nice my last week. I would have left him some headaches because like I said, I told him too, like, I am not going to hold back. I'm going to be just as much of a dick to someone as they will be to me. So, sorry, not sorry. And I never got that opportunity.
Have you ever been back to that GameStop?
I've gone back to shop. Like, I still had pre-orders to pick up.
Oh.
And I've been into GameStops just to, like, buy things.
Did people ever say they had a pre-order, but they didn't? Like, their name didn't come up or anything?
Yeah, plenty of times.
And do you think they were trying to, like, get a free game, or do you think they maybe were thinking about doing it and then just never did?
I think they're just idiots who thought they did it but didn't. Or they had it at a different store. We had that quite a bit, which in that case you would just call the other store and be like, hey, I'm going to transfer the pre-order to my store. If, you have the inventory to sell.
Mm-hmm. Was getting a hold of other stores ever difficult?
Not really.
No. Good. But yeah, I think that'll about do it for your last days at GameStop. I guess to sum it up, you were burnt out, ready to go. Everyone kind of knew it. You had another job lined up, and obviously things were better there.